I'm with Keith Bradberry from
Hello.
Who, North America. Keith, you've had the store for how long?
Since 1998, so 25 years, going into
Okay.
2023.
That's some questions I haven't seen you answer before.
Okay.
What's your favorite piece of memorabilia?
My favorite piece of memorabilia, probably the Tardis tuner is one of my favorites. I like the artwork on it. It's kind of psychedelic looking, from the 1970s. And I really like the classic art that they did on a lot of the older stuff.
Is that an actual radio?
Yes, it's an AM radio. It has a bunch of weird sounds it can do, and yeah.
How often do fools like myself show up in costume?
We get people in costume quite often, so yeah, I mean, it'll be kind of a long period where you won't seem to get very many, but then all of a sudden sometimes you have lots of people. But yeah, there's a lot of people coming in costumes.
And how often are you asked to appear on YouTube?
I get asked usually about every month or two to get to do an interview or so.
So you get to meet all of us.
Oh yeah.
So there are a lot of us here in the U.S.?
Yeah, we've got thousands of customers, I'm sure. So yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So 1998 you said.
Yes.
And what inspired you to open this store?
Well, I liked Doctor Who a lot when I was younger. I used to watch it on PBS stations. I kind of grew up in that age where I saw Star Wars in the theaters. I really liked Battlestar Galactica, the original series, and Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and all those classic science fiction shows. And when the PBS station started showing Doctor Who in the really early 80s, there was not much else on at the time as far as science fiction, and so I really fell in love with Doctor Who, and that's kind of where my love for the show grew.
That's how I found Doctor Who on public television Saturday night at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
After Are You Being Served, by the way.
Yeah.
You had Indiana public television.
Well, I lived in Illinois at the time,
Okay.
so Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana PBS station, they were showing it Monday through Friday. And so they were, as far as British television at the time, I know they had shown things like Monty Python and Benny Hill and series like that. And then Doctor Who became kind of the big thing for them, so they started doing Doctor Who. And they picked up like 7 not too long after that because the Doctor Who fans really seemed to be some of their biggest supporters at the time, so they were trying to find other science fiction shows. And I remember them picking up like 7. Then I moved to St. Louis, and when I moved to St. Louis, that's when I got to see shows like Star Cops. And then Red Dwarf.
Peter Davison, by the way.
Red Dwarf, and lots of other series that they were putting out at the time. So
You said Illinois, so
Yeah.
did you see John Pertwee on Svengoolie?
no, I did not. So I had never actually saw any of the first convention I went to was in St. Louis, Missouri, and it was in the mid '80s, so probably about 1985. And I don't think I got to see any actors because I was in the free section where you could watch the episodes. You had to pay to go to the see all the other stuff. And at the time, I was just a high school student. I didn't have any money, but I did watch some episodes.
I will learn that lesson at Pensacon in February.
Our best-selling item, well, every month the Doctor Who magazine comes out. We usually sell through a lot of those. That's one of our best-selling items. That we have for a long period of time. Every month when that comes out, we've always sold through pretty much.
Is that the full page ad in 3 columns? Is that you, or is that some?
No,
I haven't had a Doctor Who magazine in a while.
Yeah, we haven't run we have run an ad or two in Doctor Who magazine, but we are not a regular running there. So, but yeah, that's one of our really consistent sellers. In store, we sell a lot of things like mugs and T-shirts. Those are really popular items too. So.
We have no Doctor Who in Mobile. In fact, I don't remember the last time I saw anything Doctor Who anywhere in Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
So we have to resort to the Amazing Mystery Box. So I have 4 Sonic Sports. They give away, and she's got several pair of Tardis socks.
Oh yeah.
But it's the only place I can get anything.
Right.
We're hoping for a revitalization because I think that Russell T Davies is going to try to invigorate the American audience because, again, 5 of the Doctors are coming over early next year with companions.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll be doing more than one comics convention. So we're hoping to revitalize interest, and we got our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Bright future with Shooty got one?
Yeah, so I think so. I think Russell T. Davis getting back in the helm is a good thing, and it looks like they're going to really take it. One of the things that, when we started, one of the reasons why we started is in the mid-90s you couldn't get any Doctor Who product, except there were a couple of catalogs like Intergalactic Trading Company, I think, was one of the ones that we were able to get some Doctor Who stuff back in the day.
Right.
But of course, being a catalog company, it was really expensive because you were paying all the printing of that catalog. And we were one of the first to really just go all in on the internet.
Right.
So we didn't have the overhead, and our prices were cheap, and that's where people just started flocking over to us. So even though the show wasn't on the air anymore, we were getting people who couldn't find Doctor Who stuff coming to us. And so that's been one of the nice things about us is we've been in a long time, online company, and people can order online through us all the time.
Wonderful. So, how can people find you online?
They can go to www.whona.com. That's WHO, like who, North America, NA.com. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for appearing on Tardis Spider.
Thank you very much.
I hope you'll take time to watch a few of my videos.
Oh, yeah.
And
I look forward to seeing them.
especially this one.
Yeah.
And another question. I've chatted with you on Type 40 Productions.
Yes.
Do you do a lot of the chats at other Doctor Who sites?
I haven't done a lot of them. I mean, if there's a live chat going on and I happen to be watching at the time, that's one of the few that I started subscribing to because I really like their content.
Yeah.
They seem to have a really good discussion group, and I've really enjoyed there. So I got on their online chat and chatted a few times. And that's kind of how they picked me up, is that I was chatting on there, and they go, "Oh, you own the Doctor Who store in the United States," and so we did an episode where they got to do that.
I
So
saw that episode just
kind of
about
fun.
a month ago.
So yeah.
They're one of the sites, they never got bitter during the Whitaker era. A lot of the channels got sort of bitter.
Yeah.
And they managed to avoid that and talk about Doctor Who every single week. They're all fantastic people. I've met online a lot of fun people on Type 40 Productions on every Thursday, I believe. Keith, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Really
for
appreciate
having
it.
the
Yeah,
store.
it's good to be in here.
Did you see me kiss the ground when I
Yes,
walked
I
up?
did. Yeah. So thank you thank you for being blessed in our store and blessing us with your presence.
I may actually have something you don't have.
Oh, really?
I have an old hardback book, Doctor Who A to Z.
A to Z.
It's ended in, the last entry would have been Attack of the Cybermen. That's when that book came out.
Okay. Yeah, I think we probably have a copy somewhere, but
I didn't see it out.
well, it's not in the there's not a lot of books in the museum part because the only thing I've ever book-wise I put in there are the ones from the early '60s and such, and maybe the '70s.
Yeah.
I haven't put too many books in there other than like a copy of Lungbarrow because it's really hard to find that copy.
Right.
But I mean, there are a few books I've held back but yeah. So.
Yeah, I've seen a few of the things that my lovely wife has purchased for me through the years.
Yeah, but that was one of the '80s books that came out that was actually available in the United States back. There weren't a lot of things that were coming out, but in the '80s, Doctor Who books were actually hitting the market. So you had Peter Henning's The Celebration, and several books like that were kind of hitting the market in the U.S.
Mine's full of notes because I did Doctor Who alone for a long time, and I'd write my little note. I've seen this one, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. And fortunately, in the last 3 years, I took up YouTubing, and I found it to be opening doors everywhere. I do events, I go to places, I've met people, that's how I got to talk to you in a chat in the last month or so. So, enjoy Doctor Who. Do make the pilgrimage here to Who North America in Camby, Indiana. And if I can find it, you can find it.
Yep.
Again,
Look forward to meeting you all.